would you do with $17 million? In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get the deep, deep wants and purpose without having to go too far. I was listening to the Get Paid podcast by Claire Pelletro. I love listening to her because she's so cute and real, so I really enjoy that podcast. I have a couple of podcasts if you guys want. You can see on my Instagram. I usually talk about which podcast I'm listening to and what I'm up to. One of the women she was interviewing was telling her that on the first year that they opened up their online business, they made $1 million. And the second year, they made $2 million. And the third year, they made $5 million. And Claire, this year, we're closing the year with $17 million. And Claire goes like, what does one do with $17 million? Did your life change? That was such a good question. Since listening to that podcast episode, I have been asking everyone, what would you do with $17 million? I mean, it's amazing that we don't ever want or feel it's okay to think about these things, but like I really sat myself down and started writing all the different things that I would do. If I didn't have to work for the money, what would I do? What would my life look like? So while I was doing this with a lot of people, so what came out is that they would buy a house, a bigger house, they would put things into it, they would get a car, they would, get cleaning help, get babysitting help. Everything was like they don't have to do anything anymore. But then what? That's the point I want people to get to, is like, then what? Then what would your day look like? You have the car, you have the house, you have the cleaning help, you have the babysitters, and you have everything. Everything is done. Now what? What would your life look like? What would your day look like? A lot of really beautiful things were coming out of people. And then one day I turned to my husband and I said, what would you do if you had $17 million? You asked me if I had the money, what would I do? I would make the Haggada. Okay. So what's stopping you? I don't have the money. You don't understand. He's been doing research, halachic research, for so long. He has it all in his head. He knows what he's going to write. He just didn't feel like he could do it because he didn't have a sponsor and he didn't have a donor and he didn't have the money that would propel it forward and actually get it to come out as a book. So, you won't believe it, but it really did not take that long. He spilled it all out. He sat for days and nights and just typed. And the Haggada was finished. And then it was like, I'm done. So then we had to design it. And of course, because I used to be a designer and I'm still capable of working, I designed the Haggada. And then he's like, okay, yeah, great. But now what? We can't print because we don't have the money to print. It costs a lot of money to print. We got here so far. We didn't need $17 million to get this far. We're probably we just need to get a little bit closer. What's the next baby step we could do? And we had this brilliant idea to pre-sell the Haggada so that people could pay. We would have enough money to print, and then we would print. 50 people just bought. That might be another run. I'm so excited. I want to thank you, and I want you to know how much I am grateful and I'm excited because this is so amazing that it's real and that it's taking off and that it's gaining traction. So thank you. Then we got enough money to go to the printers and start the process. And it was so emotional. It was like so beautiful. It was amazing. And I had so much fun. I'm going to show you a clip that I put on my Instagram because it was just so exciting. I was like shining. We're in the printing press right now. You can't hear anything because there's a lot of noise. Look at this stuff. It's so cool. So cool. Today, I sent the file to print, and I'm filled with this grateful, amazing feeling that anything is possible. Like, every single step of the way. The fact that he was able to get the chief rabbi to give him an approval with like a stamp, the written thing. It's like a letter of approval with the stamp of the chief rabbi. This little person who thinks of himself as like, I'm just sitting in yeshiva, I'm doing my thing, I'm researching, I know what I need to do in this world, my purpose, whatever. But like, how is he going to notice me, or how am I going to get him to read my book and give it an approval? And the fact that the chief rabbi was able to say like, no, this is good, this is starting a conversation, this is important. So a little bit of a backstory: the Bet HaMikdash could be rebuilt tomorrow, amen. And and it doesn't really matter how we get to the other side of this other reality, but we're going to get there. We pray for it every single day. We ask for it in every single prayer. We say every year, L'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim. We want to put our money where our mouth is. We want to show that we really, really mean it. We want to be ready, because we really believe it's a real reality that is really coming. Not something that like, oh yeah, when Mashiach comes. No, that doesn't work like that. You have to believe. And so he put it all into a book, and it's ready. So when we actually get to have a Korban Pesach, and when we actually get to go up to Yerushalayim and have a Seder with a Korban Pesach, there is not going to be any placeholders by matzah. Instead of those things, we're going to have the actual Seder, the way it's supposed to be. And there's a lot of work that goes into it, because it's not that simple. We don't have some grandparents we can ask, hey, do you remember how you used to do this? They don't, because they themselves didn't do it. And we don't have it anywhere back for 2,000 years. You have to work really, really hard to find all the different sources that speak about Korban Pesach, the different sources that say what is going to be and what should be and what shouldn't be, and with that create something that is usable. And it's just so beautiful, okay? Anyway, so enough about the Haggadah. Back to our question: what would you do if you had $17 million? And the point is that, yes, you're going to get a bigger house, and you're going to get a car, and you're going to get whatever, all the things you always dreamed of having. But the stuff, fine, so you have it. Now what? Now what are you doing with the stuff you have? Your day, you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do? You're going to want to do something with your life. So what is it? I want you to get the excuses out of the way and see what this ultimate thing would be. And then take one step towards it, because you can take one baby step. It does not cost $17 million to take the first baby step towards that ideal life. And then see what happens. My friend who said she wants to dance took a dance course. One. That's it. Once a week. And it really made her happy. So why not try?